Warning. This program contains coarse humor and a sense of language that some people might not share. Viewer discretion is advised.
I quickly went to the camp leader's cabin. Once inside, I saw Olga Dmitrievna lying on the bed and reading a book. Do you know where Lena is? No, why are you asking? She's nowhere to be found. She missed both breakfast and lunch. So? She looked at me blankly. What do you mean, so what? When Shurik was gone, the whole camp was searching for him from early morning. I don't understand you. There's something strange happening to the camp leader again. She was behaving absolutely incomprehensibly, illogically. Do you think it's normal? So where is she now? I don't know. Olga Dmitrievna replied calmly. This is too much. I started to lose my temper. Ask Miku. She's a roommate after all. That was a good idea, because obviously I would get more answers here. I went outside, slammed the door, and went to Miku's and Lena's cabin. It was nice that the orchestra girl had told me before where she lives, which is why I was at the front door in their cabin a minute later. I should have knocked, but for some reason I couldn't. I took a few deep breaths and knocked several times. Hello, hello. I heard a familiar voice. I'm that shiny face. Hi, do you know where Lena is? No, I haven't seen her for today. You're looking for her, right? Don't you think it's strange? By that time, I had already suspected everybody of hiding information about Lena's location, of conspiracy, of involvement in me being here, of Kennedy's assassination, and hundreds of other terrible things. Well, you know, maybe. I thought I saw someone somewhere and just lost doing things. Breakfast, music club, help to clean, and lunch, and then... Okay, I see. And what about yesterday? Was everything normal? Well, she came back immediately, went to bed. I didn't notice anything wrong. No chance of finding anything here either. Thanks. I said abruptly and left. At that moment, it seemed to me that the missing Lena was the only person in this pack of talking dummies, and I had to find her. However, it seemed almost impossible to do this alone, so I went for help. Who would be the most willing to help me? Of course, Slavia. I decided that this time she would be engaged in some cleaning something, for example the square, so I went there. My sixth sense didn't let me down. Hi! Hey! Have you seen Lena? No, why are you asking? Nobody's seen her since this morning. She was absent during breakfast as well as during lunch. Strange. I also think it is, to put it mildly, strange. Can you help me find her? Oh, sorry. Maybe later. I've got cleaning here to finish. It was like a lightning strike. I took a few awkward steps back and ran away from this place. No, that was not her. As if somebody had replaced her. Not only her, but the other inhabitants of this camp. What is happening? The strangest thing is that it doesn't have anything to do with me, but with Lena. Maybe she came here the same way I did? Exactly. That could be the reason why she behaves quietly most of the time. Wait. But what about her knowing Alyssa? Something doesn't add up. My head was going to explode and I started to choke. After catching my breath, I looked around and found myself at the bus stop. I sat on the curb and covered my face with my hands. If before nothing had really been up to me, but was going relatively smoothly, then now I was, as always, helpless, but the situation was totally different. Watching the battle fought from the side with no threat to your life, and being on the hot spot without being able to help the ones you care about are two different things. I was just sitting. Time passed and the sun began to fall. Probably dinner has already started. Although what's the difference? I still don't want to eat. I stood up and trudged back to the camp on rubber legs. As always, the only thing left to do is wait. I decided to go to the beach. While everybody was at dinner, I could sit quietly and think here. Though what could I think about? Enough, maybe. However, my expectations were ruined. On the beach, I met Xenia, which greatly surprised me. You also come here? She looked at me from behind her glasses. You think I'm not a human being? No, I don't mean that. Then what do you mean? Nothing. By the way, have you seen Lena? Nope. I see. What do you want from her? Well, nobody's seen her since yesterday evening. Do you think that somebody could get lost in this camp? She laughed loudly. Shurk succeeded. That was a special case. Those guys are two peas in a pod. You never know what to expect from them. I immediately remembered the morning incident. Tell me, why were you chasing Electronic this morning? Xenia got uncomfortable. None of your business. Just asking. Because he's a fool. She turned away after these words. Maybe you shouldn't be so strict towards him? Even to me, it wasn't clear whether I'm defending Electronic or just keeping the conversation going. Then how else should I treat him? Well, give him a chance. You know, such an act requires lots of courage. You say it as if it is something special, some kind of achievement. Would you be able to do that yourself? I thought, and answered after a while. I don't know. Haven't had the right moment yet. I hope you'll have it soon. Xenia said rudely and walked towards the canteen. I sat down on the sand and thought. True that Electronic was able to say it, but can I do the same thing? That is the question, a big question. If I got the right moment, but which and when? It's always easier to think about something ephemeral, to get ready for dozens of possible situations, to predict the following events for many steps ahead. But most of the time it all goes differently. Even a small event is enough to ruin your plans, and if you're not ready to do it at any time, whenever, under any circumstances, if you're ready only when everything is exactly as you expected, it's unlikely you'd ever get anything worthwhile. Therefore, the only correct answer to Xenia's question was no. Not an ambiguous, uncertain, half-hearted, or forced answer. Just no. There is only a simple yes and a simple no. It's always been hard for me to understand that. Between these two extremes, I always worked in a great number of different answers like maybe, perhaps, probably if, and not sure but I'll try.